All right, it is recording now. All right, we're gonna start with the naked chart here. You're gonna go over a couple things on short term. Where do we entry if you're doing scalps or just day trades? The other question is for the long terms. For the long terms like leaps and stuff like that, the Facebook, we entered. Why did we enter that? And what was the reasoning behind it? And the UPST short, why did we take that and what was the reasoning behind that? So those will be the couple examples I'll go through on these. But I also want to teach you guys, how to add the indicators on here and which indicators I'm looking at, the short term and the long term. Okay, so to begin with, I'm gonna take this off. So it's totally naked right now. We are on the daily chart right here. Okay, so the first thing, I just open this chart up, look at it naked and see what's going on here. Okay, I do add my RSI here at the bottom, and this is your MACD. Okay, so these are really important indicators which show you, RSI will show you if it's overbought or oversold. Okay, so this is the indicator which shows the relative strength on the stock. So if it's all the way under this, under 30, it is oversold. That is one of the good entries you can get. Can it be oversold for a while? Absolutely. But usually about in a week or so, it will come out. Like if you can see right here, it was oversold here during this time in October. Right here, see, this is oversold. And after that, it pushed back up. So if you get entry anywhere around this on daily, we're gonna go with the long-term ones first and see where we can find our entries. So this is the first thing I look at. This is a naked chart, totally no EMAs, no nothing, nada, zero. So this is where I start, and I'll look at the RSI and the MACD. The main good confirmation here would be MACD crossing up right here. You see this blue crossing this orange line? This is your good confirmation. Then okay, all right, the sell-off is pretty much done here. Now it's either going to be choppy or it's gonna keep moving up. So I'll look at this and then I'll draw my support and resistance. There are a lot of other indicators. You can go here and you can add a lot of indicators on here for support and resistance. For example, we built our own IC script. In that itself, it shows you, you can add, it's already pre-added support and resistance on them. So you can either use that or you can use your own. Okay, so I'm just going to look at here, a naked chart. I'm going to take the horizontal line right here on your left. These are the horizontal lines and all the lines, trend lines, etc., etc. But I'm going to use a simple horizontal line and look at it, that where it has been rejecting. Okay, if you look at it here, this was the accumulation part. It consolidated here for a long time before it broke down from here. So this area right here will be your resistance area, close to this. Anywhere right here where it keeps rejecting. Look at this, it rejected here on the top right here. So around 62 to 63 area is your resistance. You see how it bounced over here? This was your support before it broke down over here. So this was your support right here around 63 to 65 area. Okay, because you have a good area right here where it consolidated right here, see? So this is your area where it was consolidating and it finally broke underneath that, and there it goes down the hill. So this is my first thing I do when I first look at the chart and see where is the support and resistance. So this is my resistance line right now. If it gets over 63 to 64 area on Mastercard, I will go long on this one because it is breaking the downtrend and it is coming back into this channel right here where it was previously before it broke down. Does that make sense so far?
You start with the daily chart, right?
Yes, for the long term, you start with the daily chart.
It's clear.
Okay. All right. So after this, what I do is, if I'm looking at this chart and I'm thinking, I want to buy this one for at least 3 to 6 months out or a year out. I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the indicators, look at my moving averages. This is your moving average. You click on it. And then over here, you can go into this, looks like a wheel, go into the settings, go under the inputs. So 50, 100, and 200. These are the 3 EMAs you want to look at it when you are going on any stock for a long-term positioning. Okay, so you want to put 50 right here. Okay, all right, there you go. This is your 50 moving average. Okay, the other things you can add right here is your 100 and see where it is. You add 100, there's your 100. Okay, you add your 200 as well, because this one had a nice move down, so we want to see where the 200 is on this Mastercard. Now 200, always remember this, 200 is those hedge fund managers' favorite. Okay, if it breaks underneath that, their stops automatically triggers. They will sell their whole position out of that. But if it gets above that, they're gonna start positioning in that all over again. So that's your indication to go long the other end. So if you look at it right here, now you can go, it looks like a TV right here. Oh, sorry, TV right here. They show you right here everything 50, 100, and 200 where they are. Okay, if you don't.
It's not clear.
Sorry?
The lines are not very clear, especially the yellow one. Please.
Let me see if I can make it darker. How's that? Better?
Yeah, very good.
Okay. So this black one is your 200. You can also look at it over here on your left top. These are your EMAs, but I like to look at it over here. They show you all in line, the MACD, histogram, etc., the open, high, low, 52-week low, and all that. So your Mastercard 200 moving average is at 360.42. Now where did we close on that? On Friday. Look at it, right underneath that. So for now, that is your resistance. That's the other thing that's showing you. That 360.42, the 200 moving average is your resistance. If it gets above that, the next is your 100 and 50 moving average. If it gets all of those, it passes through that, it's really, really bullish. Okay? What is the other bearish sign on all these? The bearish sign is when it crosses right here. You see the 50 crossing the 100, that's not good. You stay short. And now if you look at it, it crossed right here at 57 and it went all the way down to 35.
So we should not take any trade, like let's say this candle go above 200, so we should not make any trade till it goes over 50 and 100, right?
Right. But you can also look at, the reason I had taken a trade on this was because I was getting a nice, it was at a support area over here. Charles, your mic is on. Charles and Vavlani.
You can't complain to me now, baby.
No. Please mute your mics because we can hear you. Thank you. So these are the main things I look at long term when I'm entering the positioning. The other thing, what do I do after it gets through all this?
So Umesh, one more question, please.
Yeah.
As is, you will not take any trade here, neither bearish nor bullish. You will just keep quiet on
I will trade it. I won't take the long-term positioning. I will trade it for a day or two like we did before. Remember on Mastercard? We made good money on that. So
which way you will trade right now? Which way you will trade?
which way?
Yeah, will you take bullish or bearish right
If
now?
if this one gets over 365, I will go long.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
Because this is your 50 EMA right here at you know, even if this crosses above this 364.52,
Yeah.
the 50 will curl up. The
Okay.
50 is start going to curl up and it will move really fast.
Oh, I see. Okay. Got it. Got it.
Okay. So the other reason why I had taken that Mastercard trade, you know, the other day I told you guys that, you know, Mastercard is long at 49. Remember? There was a reason because I had a support level around right here because it kept bouncing. This is my other, you know, this is our script line. So the other thing, what you do for when you're trading, I draw a trend line. Look at this. This was a trend line I had drawn. And this is where I told you guys that, hey, this is long. If you guys want to get into Mastercard right now, this is long. Do you guys remember that on Friday? I mentioned that.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So this was the reason because it kept bouncing on this trend line right here. So that's the other thing you want to look at it. So let me recap. On the naked chart, you start with the support. The second thing, you look at 50, 100, and 200 moving averages. And then you also draw a trend line from the bottom. You have to zoom out a little bit. And then you again go right here in the drawings. You can see a trend line right at the top. You click on it. And then, you know, whatever it was your short term lows, you take it and draw a trend line and see if it's going to fall below that. It's making higher highs here. This is called higher highs, right?
Yes. Yes.
So it is not dropping below this line. So that's pretty bullish. So these are the few things you look at it before you take a long-term positioning. And that's why I was going for January. Because, you know, if it falls through here, it's going to be a bloodbath again all the way down to 35. Because it's going to...
It is below 200 EMA. Still it is bullish, right?
It is, right now, it is... This is your resistance now.
Yes.
Okay, so we played from here till here. Okay, from support till your resistance. You played till here. Now, I am going to close this trade and wait and see what it's going to do next. Is it going to get through here or no? If not, if it opens below 200 again, this is probably going to come back to this trend line to retest it. So what it's going to do here is, you know, it will keep doing this. Let me show you. It'll keep going this, 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 this. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yes.
So these are your entry points right here. And what a lot of people do is they chase right here. You don't want to do that. These are called chasers. You never ever want to make an entry right here thinking this is called hope trade, that you are hoping that it gets through 200, 150 moving average. Let me have some confirmation on that. If not, okay, this is going to be my entry right here. If it comes back, you know, if it's rejecting 200 moving average, it's going to come back down here to retest this trend line. And I'm going to enter right here at 49.50 area, and I'm going to keep my stop $2 below, just in case if they're going to do a fake out. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. All right. So long-term positioning. Do you guys have any questions on that?
When you say long term, how far you are talking?
I'm gonna look at it 3 months to 6 months to a year.
Oh, I see. Okay. This is for that. Okay.
Yes. But more specifically, I would go at least 3 months out, and that's why I'm picking all my positioning, you know, like Facebook. I picked January calls. Now, why did I pick on Facebook? Okay, so this is the other one, Facebook. Now, Facebook, if you guys look at it right here, now you guys notice right here, I have added, with along my 9, 21, and 34 EMA. Okay, these are my short-term indicators to play around with. But for the long term, we're gonna use 50, 100, and 200. All right.
Yes.
So for Facebook, when I started, and you will see a lot of lines on my chart right here most of the time. Okay, because I like to keep my old lines, and because they really help me. If you go back, look at all this. These are all my old lines. So this was drawn long time ago. Now, if you guys remember, right here when we were around 58ish, okay, and then it came down and it came back to 44. It was right about at 40. I clearly remember telling you guys that no, until and unless this does not give me an entry at 338, I am not going to enter Facebook. I don't know if any of you remember that. And after this, from 40, it went all the way up to 55. I was like, hey, it's all right. I missed the trade, but I'm still going to wait for my entry. It came all the way back down. It came back to my support line right here. Why is this my support? 338. Look at this right here. How many times it had rejected 338 right here. It tried to get through. It could not get through 38. So this is your resistance right here for Facebook. 338. It could not do it every single time it tried. Now after that, look at it on 23rd of June. It finally made it above this. After it gets through this and it closes at least one candle, we want to see close above that resistance for confirmation. Okay, otherwise it could be a fake out as well. So this one closed above that, and now 338 is your support, which was your resistance previously. So this one is bullish. This one is headed up. And after that, as soon as this crosses this line, I'm gonna go back to my options flow and go back and look at it to see if they're buying any Facebook. If they're buying any dated calls or 2 weeks out or anything like that. And that gives me my confirmation, for a short-term trade. I can go 2 weeks to a month out on this trade, give it a little bit more time to make this trade happen. Now after this, look at this, how many times continuously up, it never came back down. And after this, when it crosses this, you want to add for a short-term trade, these are your 9, 21, and 34 EMAs. Okay, these are the 3 ones you want to add when you are trading between 1 to 3 months trade. Okay, 2 weeks.
34, please.
Sorry?
Color your 34 EMA. It's hard to see.
34 is the right one right here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, I had a question.
Sure.
Why do you select 9, 21, and 34 and not other numbers?
So 9, 21, and 34 are, they have been used by the traders for a long time, and they have found out, they have been pretty consistent. A lot of people use 8, 20, and 50 EMA as well. But I got introduced to 34 EMA through Tesla. Tesla loves 34 EMA. So if you go back to your daily chart or even on scalpings, you will see, Tesla really respects that 34 EMA.
Okay, thanks.
So those are the few reasons. But for, day trades and scalpers, these are the pretty common ones they use. So that's why I started using these. And they're pretty good actually. So these are your new indicators from now on. Okay, so I'm gonna forget about the 50, 100, and 200. They are long gone, so I'm not gonna look at it anymore unless it breaks through right here. If you look at it, it breaks through 9, 21, and 34. It bounced on 50 right here. But this right here, there was news. I think it was the Apple news that got it. So these are the few indicators. I look at it and I just ride the boat. As long as it's not breaking any of the EMAs, I'm gonna hold on to my long-term positioning. Now if you guys, I don't know if you guys remember that Apple trade, it was a long time ago, you know, we entered that 120 call, you know, that was like a year ago, so almost. And everybody was...
When will you take a bullish trade, even though the stop is below your 34 EMA?
I will wait for it to get above it again, right here. I would entry, my other entry would be right here. Right here. If I want to go back in.
You will never take a trade, a bullish trade, if it is below 34 EMA, right?
Nope, nope. The short-term ones, I won't. No.
Short-term thing. Short-term.
Yeah.
Now we are talking short-term, right?
Yep. I will never take a short-term trade unless and until it's above 34 EMA. And then I'll keep my stop right under the 34 EMA. If 34 EMA breaks, I'm out.
This is above 34 EMA, but below 21 and 9 EMA, still you can take.
No, it is actually right. It's a pretty congested area if you look at it right here. You see right here? It's pretty congested. And it closed above the 9 EMA. And after that, in the morning, it was a quick dip and then it ripped. This was the ER right here. But after that, look at it. It came back. You know, that's why I tell you. Remember whenever I tell you guys that wait till the end of the day to see if it closes above 34 EMA. This is a great example right here. This candle right here. Okay. This candle, look at it. It broke under 34 EMA, took the stops, and then it closed way above that. And then after that.
These stocks are okay, but how do you decide in Amazon, which like move every second like that fast?
Amazon, that's the other one. Amazon trades that way too. This is my Amazon. So these are all my old lines. Huh?
But Amazon moves very quickly, right? They
The-
just $10 around, $4 around, down like that.
Yeah, Amazon is, you know, a different breed. So Amazon, again, if you look at it, you know, if it's above, look at this, the 9. This is the other bullish trade. If you guys want a real confirmation, the 9 crossing the 21 above, this blue thing, the blue line right here, is your 9 EMA. Okay? The 9 EMA is crossing the 21 and 34 right here. You can't get any more bullish confirmation than this. When that crosses, you get on the long side right away. This is your best indicator right here, 9 crossing 21 on the upside, and on the downside the same thing right here, 9 crossing the 21. You are going to stay bearish until it gets above 34 EMA for the bearish side. On this one, until and unless it does not break the 9 EMA, you stay bullish. Now look at this, 9 and 21 crossed at what, around 290 area. Okay, this is where it crossed, around 290, 3290, and after that it went all the way up to 3500. Just think about it. And after that, you use your support and resistance, you know, the previous support and resistance to play this game. And or if you have time on your contracts, just make sure and stay long on this one as long as the 9 EMA holds. The 9 EMA is your blue line right here. As long as it stays above that, look at this. Even if you missed out, you know, you might have missed out on 50 points right here. As soon as it broke this 9 EMA, you are out. You had a 200 point run on Amazon right here. Did it go up after that? Of course it did. It's fine. You can re-enter this trade right after it gets above this 9 EMA again. Look at this. You could have re-entered it again after you got stopped out at 34.40 area. You would have re-entered this one again, you know, when it got over the 9 EMA around 34.60, 70 area, and then played this one. You play all the way up here, and then again right here you exit your trade. it closed below 9 EMA, does not look good. It's most likely going to come back down here. And when that happens, you start drawing your trend lines from the top. And look at this, how many times it has rejected. These were our short trades. When I told you guys, whenever I put out the levels, these are the levels I'm showing you guys. Look at how many times it has rejected this trend line. You start drawing your trend lines from the top to the bottom. This is a trend line. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at this, how many times it has rejected. 7, 8, 9. 9 times rejection at that trend line. These tried to break above that, but it was a false breakout. It closed below that. It could not make above that. For me, now Amazon, if it gets above this trend line from the bottom, it's going to break the downtrend and come above. Now this blue thing right here is your 200 moving average right here. I'm gonna go back to my TV right here and look at it. Right now it is below the 200 moving average right here, 3312. I would not go, I will trade Amazon, but I will not buy 2 weeks out Amazon unless and until it breaks above 200 moving averages. Because that's where, if it closes above that, that's where you will see the buyers come in. That's where you will see the big money, the hedge funds and everybody jumping into this positioning, thinking, okay, this is going to run up now again.
But how do you bring this on the side? The one is showing open, high, low, the side.
It's a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the fourth tab on your right.
Okay, thank you.
It looks like a TV.
Okay.
So would it be a good time to go short until it closes above the 200?
Yeah. Every time it's going to come and kiss close to this 200, short it right there and keep your stop right above that. 3312, right, is your 200 moving average. I would short right around there somewhere and keep my stop at 3320. Because it could be a fake candle, right? But if it's gonna go above that, look at the volume. Look at the volume. Is there a flow? That's something else I look at. Is there a flow in there? How is the overall market looking? How are the Qs looking? Are the Qs looking decent? Are they showing any kind of volume? Because Qs are the tech sector, right? So you gotta look at the Qs too. Are the Qs giving you any kind of indication that it's done? Is the sell-off done? If this is bouncing, you better believe that Amazon's gonna follow soon here. So right here, look at this. It rejected this downtrend line. It could not close above this. Now if it closes above this right here, I would be more comfortable, at least, buying the weeklies and swinging it overnight.
Have you always check RSI, MACD, MACD
Yes.
before you take a trade?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cross check 3 and then make a trade.
Yes.
If you don't mind, could you explain the MACD? That's something I don't quite understand.
Honestly, let me put it this way. MACD is a lagging indicator. Okay? MACD always, crosses. For example, let me show you right here. It will always cross after the move is done.
I agree.
Okay? So that indicator is honestly overrated for me. But I just use it for a confirmation if I'm going about at least 6 months out on a trade, especially on the shares side. Okay, if I'm buying shares, that kind of gives me a confirmation. Okay, all right, there's a momentum going on. The MACD is crossing up right here. The blue is crossing the yellow. Now all the colors will be different, but if the bottom line is crossing, the top one right here, this is your entry right here. I don't know why that thing keeps popping up.
You don't use VAP at all?
I don't use VWAP. That thing I used to use to scalp, but I like my other support resistance. I got used to it, and as long as it's making you money, you're fine. You don't need anything else.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. But right here, if you look at it, this thing crossing up. Now look at it where it crossed. You already missed out on a good 80, what is this, 80 till 80, 100 points you missed out on. Look at this lagging indicator. This is where it crossed. So you already missed out 100 points on Amazon, over 100 points actually. But if you had your trend line, these are at the bottom. This is close to a hammer, not exactly a hammer, close to a hammer. But this one is showing you a reversal right here. These are your reversal candles. You don't want to see this at the top and think, okay, these are my reversal candles. No, you want to see this at the bottom. If the bottom is being bought up with nice volume at the end of the day, look at the cues as well. If it makes sense, you can buy this trade at the end of the day for a possible gap up with a stop at where it closed.
Is it engulfing candle from the opposite color is a sign of trend over?
Yeah. Bullish engulf.
Yes.
Yep. 90% it is a good sign. Yes.
Enter the trade there, wait for the next candle, right?
Yeah. I always wait. As long as the previous lows hold, previous close, I'll go for it. Now, let me give you an example here. I'm eyeing net for tomorrow. Okay. This is the one I'm eyeing tomorrow. I already set, look at this. I have already set my alert on this. You right click on it, on this line. I'm looking at it. Good. This is where you would set your alert. Edit horizontal line, crossing up. As soon as it crosses up, it's going to give me an alert, and I'll get into this trade. Okay.
How does RSI combine with MACD? Do you use RSI? Is it relevant to keep RSI on the chart?
I would, yeah. I would take out the MACD and I would keep RSI.
Okay, whatever you enter the trade in the net here, because this is all right now.
Okay.
Below all the EMAs.
Good.
Right?
Good question.
Sorry.
Good question. Now that's what I was going to explain you. When would I enter this trade? Okay.
Yeah.
So this one right here, if you look at it, this high was, what was the high on this one? 11584. 115 and 84 cents was the high on this one, and since then this has not been able to get above that. Okay. And over here, if you look at it, this was pretty close. This was your support, pretty close, but it rejected right here, and it had bounced over here previously. So if it can get above 116 right here, 115.84, but I'm just rounding it up. If it opens above this, I will go long, because I know this is going to go back to retest your EMAs, which is around 120, and there is also a gap fill right here. It needs to gap fill right here.
Yeah, even if you go to like 116, still it will be far below your EMAs, right? But you still
Correct.
take that trade.
Correct. So I'm gonna take it and I'll probably exit it right there. Now this is a trade. I wouldn't take it for a long term. We are still talking short term here, okay? So this is your gap right here. So most likely, what is it going to do? It's if it gets above this, it's most likely going to come here to close this gap, and then it'll probably go up, and then from there right here, it'll go up and then probably come back down. Or if it's going to consolidate, it might consolidate here for a little bit, and then it'll make it move up. So this will be my next resistance right here. 121.65 area, 121, whatever the low was here. What is it? 121.73. If it gets above that, and the EMAs are lining up, the sell volume is less, that's the other thing you want to look at it. The sell volume, has it dried down yet? That's one thing I also look at it. Is the sell volume done? Look at this. It's slowly trending down. You see that? You can also draw a trend right here. The sell volume from here till here all the way down is starting to trend down now. So that's the other thing you gotta look at, the volume. Are the sellers tired?
You will not wait for one more green candle?
On this one?
Yes.
Now if it opens above 115.84, I will take this trade and I'll keep my stop at 115.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
Yep. So your loss will be very, very small, but your gain on this one will be really nice, because as long as it holds this 115.50 area, 80 area, you know, this is headed up to 120, 121 area.
And you're still looking at daily chart, right?
I am looking at this daily chart, yes.
Even for short term.
Yep. Because this one is going to be my 2 weeks, 1 to 2 weeks trade. You know, I'll probably go take 2 weeks out expiration, because weekly, I don't know how much time, you know, if there's a flow for the weekly, I'll jump in the weeklies. But if not, then if I'm just playing the chart, then I'll give at least 2 weeks for this position to work out. The other thing was this one is a really, really good example for, you know, staying long. Now look at this 9 EMA. Look at the love UPST had for this 9 EMA. Since when? Since here, August of 21.
Can you make that a little darker, please? 9 AM is all black. I can't see that.
Hold on here.
So this white color is okay. The black is very hard to see that.
Okay, now can you see?
Yeah. Thank you, brother.
Yep. So look at this right here. Ever since since August, after this ER, it has never let go of this blue line, which is your 9 EMA. Every single time it tried to break underneath that, it came and closed right above that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And now look at it. Finally, it's done. Now, you know, I don't know if you guys have heard of the term bearish divergence. This is your bearish divergence right here. And I know, you know, we took that trade couple times and we failed because, you know, it kept pushing up, but we were in the weekly, so we had to cut it out. And that's why, you know, I got into spreads couple weeks out, because I know it was done. It was just a matter of when. Right here, it was done, because there was a bearish divergence. You know, the buyers were kind of slowing down here, you know, and this is your trend line. It cannot get above this for, look at it, how many days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. It could not get above that. And look what happened as soon as it broke the 9 EMA. Look at it. A lot of people asked me what was my target. My first target was my 21 EMA, which was around 292 to 294 that day. Right? So that was your target. After this, if it breaks this, my next target is going to be at 34, wherever that is.
Don't you take the Fibonacci into effect? Because once you taught me how to use the Fibonacci and it works out. But for this trade, how could you make it out with Fibonacci? And yes, we did make money. Yes, we have made money at gold. But the only thing is just the Fibonacci. That's where I'm kind of
So
getting that.
Fibonacci, this is your Fibonacci right here. You know, the TradingView has an auto Fibonacci retracement indicator right here. You can go and type it. You know, it's right here, auto Fib retracement. It does it for you. From the, you know, it takes it from the bottom to the high. And these are your Fib levels right here. So you can use this as a guide. But, you know, I never used all this. I was always like a manual trader. You know, I loved using my own lines. And with my EMAs and the moving averages, that's it. As long as you keep your charting pretty simple, you know, and draw your own lines, pretty soon you will know that, you know, you're trusting your own lines and you will trade your own lines. You won't need anybody else or any other indicators, to be honest. So that's why I just keep this once in a while and I'll put it, but I don't use it that often.
Oh, it's like the way you're explaining. Most of these stocks, right? If you take trade like month and a half or 2 months out, then chances you will always make money, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because the way these stocks go like 10 day up, 5 day up, then 4-5 days down,
Yeah.
even though you are losing money in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
But there are 70-80% chances that
Yeah.
after 10 days or 2 weeks, they always come back and at least make some money.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's why I keep, on Friday I did mention that I won't be answering any more DMs, and I'm just gonna follow the chart and take my trades and play that way. And that's why I'm still holding this Facebook. I'll probably see, I'll most likely take 1/3 more off tomorrow if it's going to go and kiss this 9 EMA right here. Because usually this chart is still bearish, don't take me wrong. We are just playing the bounce right here. The 38 bounce, it came here, we took this position, and it's nicely up right now. But I'm still not bullish on it. I'm just playing a bounce on it.
Thank you very much. You always you always give us the good tips, and we definitely make money out of it. Thank you very much.
Hey, that's good, man. That's good. But does that make sense, guys, so far? If not, be honest, so I can explain you guys more differently. Because, if you guys don't understand the terms or anything like that, what I'm talking about, if you're still confused, I can use different terminology to, help you explain.
Can we look at firm too, please?
A firm?
You're not taking a trade. I want to know why you didn't take trade. You didn't take it.
A firm, I have not taken this because it is still, the long side. I have not taken it because it's still at the downtrend right here. It is not above my line. If it gets above this right here, I'll take the trade. But I like it here, that it closed above this 9 EMA. It's pretty good. But I still feel it's not done yet, If it gets above this, I'll play it.
So how can we scalp on this? On a firm?
Scalp?
Yeah.
Now for scalp, I use, differently. I'll use a 5-minute chart. I'll use a 5-minute chart with my other tool I have, which we use on Amazon right here. You see, this is my Amazon chart. But here on Affirm, if I wanted to scalp, so this is my other profile I use. The other one is the IC profile, but this one is my other profile I use for the scalping. So this is the 5-minute chart, and I have shared in the education that which indicator is this one. It's right here. It is called Cryptomanic Pivots Fibonacci. This was passed on to me by one of my good friends years ago, and I've added this one to scalp. It's pretty much, what it is your support and resistance on short term. That's all it is. Okay, so
What is it called?
it's in the education tab. I have posted it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but it's called Crypto Manic _pivots _ Fibonacci. But this is where I would scalp, Kareem. These are the lines, right here. For example, this green line is your resistance. It can't close above that. As soon as it broke above, hey, I am all yours. Look at this. And again, you can use this 921 cross and 34 cross on a short-term trades as well if you're scalping. Look at this 921 crossing right here. This is your other indication why you should go long on this one. Now let me give you an example on the Amazon one, why we had taken that trade. We did when I told you 3300 call on this one. Okay, so it was right about here. Okay, it was, let me raise a brush. There you go. Okay, right about here. This was the spot where I said go long Amazon 3300 calls, where we entered for 120 something, 123, and it went all the way to 230, 250 I think. So this was the candle right here. See, 921 crossed, and remember I told you guys between 12 and 1 keep an eye on Amazon. If you get this setup right here, this is your scalp and you're done for the day. I'm telling you. I have noticed this quite a bit between 12 and 1. About 80 to 90% of the time Amazon will make this kind of move. So these are the few things you gotta look at it. Okay, as long as the market is stable and it's not doing much, And right here, if your 9 and 21 is crossing right here, and it is holding above still, okay, and there's a volume coming in, you jump into that trade with a stop loss very tight right here. So we entered at that 75, 76 level. You keep your stop right underneath this one, which is the low of this candle, which is 73.80.
This is a 5-year chart, right?
Yep. So as long as it's holding above 73.80, this trade is good. You're gonna make your 200-300 and one contract. Go next week's, so you're not losing on your IV. Okay, so it's not, yeah.
I want to, last couple of weeks ago, I want to learn because why it didn't work out. You had taken a trade, bought VARK, right?
Yeah. That was a spec play.
Sorry?
That was a spec play. That was a pure, flow play for possible news play.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. That was a news possible. I'm still holding that. You never know. They will come back out dead.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So the other thing, what do I do on this one is I draw a trend line from the top and where it had rejected. Okay, right here. Now see, look at this. I'll draw it and see how it is coming to retest it. Retest up. So that's the other trades you can make. But if you start using this cryptomanic indicator, or you can even draw your own lines, to be honest. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'll just use these lines if I'm too lazy. But you can also draw your own lines. Now look at it. Just with your naked eye, forget there's anything else on this chart. Where is your resistance on here? Look at this, how many times it has rejected right here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. It cannot get above that. 4. Did it close right here and it shot right back down? Okay, there was barely anything on this one. There was no follow through. You're done with this trade right here. Did it come back above this? That's really bullish. And now from here, if it, it's coming up here on this candle, you can enter this trade right here. That's your one more scalp. But my main, a good confirmation scalp, where is it again? Right here.
9 crossing 21, right?
Yeah. 9 crossing 21. And it is between 12 and 1 where it most likely, makes it trade. So these are the areas you got to keep an eye on for the scalps. But that 12 and 1 area, I'm telling you guys, it's pretty, look at this right here. This was between 12 and 1. Again, 9 cross 21, and look at this move from $9 to 25. That's easily $1,000. Easy. The only thing, people don't do right here is greed. Greed kills them. Okay?
That's me.
Yeah, that will kill you. I'm telling you, you guys, start writing it down. I still use paper and pencil to write down, what my daily goal is, 100, 200, 300, doesn't matter what. If that's met, I'm done. I'm not scalping anymore. Will I take longer position trade for a swing? Absolutely. But for the daily, no. And that's why I always call, Amazon is my daily bread and butter.
Can you look at hot chart, please? HUT.
Hot. Let's look at hot. Hot is nice, but now look at this hot. Okay, you tell me what should I do right now here.
Sorry?
You tell me what should I do right here.
We need to look like a bullish right now.
Okay.
Because this is over all those 9, 21 and 32 EMA.
Awesome.
And we're looking at daily chart, right?
Awesome. And the other thing I would do is the high right here was this around this, right, which was 1130. So I'll go to 1130. I'll pick up a trend line right here and see what it's doing. I'll take the top. Look at this. Is it above that line?
Yes.
There you go. It's pretty good. I would stay long on this one. Now what is your resistance on this one? Where was it rejecting before? Right here. You see this? 1, 2, 3. It keep rejecting. It could not get above that one. So this is your resistance right here. And it closed right at that resistance. Now if it opens above 930, you better believe that this one's going to blast off, you know, up to 11 easily.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but I cannot hear you. You wanna type? You can type your question on the trade floor. I'll look at it.
Umesh,
Yeah.
if your EMA is favorable to you for a bullish trade, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then RSI and MAC has to be favorable, or you don't care, you don't look at them then?
I will look at it. I mean, usually they will be favorable because you know the RSI and everything moves along with your EMAs. But to end the recording, you know, just to make sure, did I clear how to how to take a position for your long-term trades and a short-term trade?
Yes, 100%, yes, yeah.
Do you guys have any questions regarding that? We will go through some charts here, but I don't want to, you know, keep this recording too huge so the other people don't have to, you know, listen to the whole thing. We'll just keep that recording to the point.
Okay, fair enough.
Mish, I have a question. So for the options, how long should you keep the option, you know, open before the decay starts to hit, and if you overtakes the delta?
Okay, let me answer that question after I stop recording this one. Alright, give me a minute. Alright guys, thank you. If you guys have any questions regarding the long-term positioning and the short-term positioning, please, no, I'm still here. I will answer you. I'll go through all the questions. You know, we'll do some chart reviewing and all that, but I'm just going to stop recording this right here. But if you guys have any questions, whoever is going to listen to this recording, go ahead and shoot those questions in the question tab, and I will go through them and I will answer your questions over there. But till then, see ya, tata. We'll do this again every weekend. I'll try my best to do that, and we'll pick every you know, different topics to go through regarding this. We'll also go through some dividend portfolios, how to make it, etc., etc. Also, please, I have posted something in the welcome channel about frequently asked questions, so please look at that. That'll be really easy, and we'll get, you know, less DMs regarding these questions. So all right, see you guys.